So you're looking at engagement rings and you want to make sure that you get it right, as this will be the start of your wedding journey. But with so many choices and important aspects to consider, where do you begin? Let's talk about it. Welcome, my loves, to the Curated Wedding. I'm Nasli and I run an award-winning wedding venue where we have hosted hundreds of beautiful wedding days. I've also recently gotten married myself, so I'll be unveiling my insider secrets and top tips from both sides of the aisle so that together we can discuss the art of a curated wedding. Now, if you're interested, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell so you don't miss out on my weekly wedding tips. Today we'll go through 10 steps to choosing the perfect engagement ring, and stick with me for the end for a gift that's going to make it all much simpler. Now let's get into it. First things first, as special and meaningful as surprise proposals are, they are not by any means the only way. And if you want to be involved in choosing your engagement ring, that is absolutely fine. At the end of the day, this is something that's going to be on your hand forever, so you need to love it. Number one for us is inspiration. Myself and my fiance knew that we wanted to choose the ring together. For this reason, it started off, as everything wedding related does, with a shared Pinterest board, where over time I started pinning photos of rings I absolutely loved to see if there was a theme or any commonality between them. If you're someone who's always known what kind of ring you're looking for, I would still recommend having a look and making sure that you do this step. You never know what could pique your interest. You might go for something completely different altogether. Number two is the stone. Once you have an idea of the kind of thing you like, start thinking about the gemstone that you want to choose. And no, not everyone has a diamond. Now, hardness is a really important factor. Your gemstone will need to be on the harder end of the Mohs scale of mineral hardness, because everyday contact will chip and scratch any softer gemstones, and this is one that is going to be on your hand for a very long time. This is one of the reasons that diamonds are generally chosen, as they are the hardest stone, measuring a 10 on the Mohs scale of mineral hardness. If you're interested in other gemstones, however, definitely do not be put off. Search the name of your preferred gemstone as well as Mohs scale, M-O-H-S, to see where it falls. Typically the divide between hard and soft is at 7. So if your gemstone is above a 7, you're good. But if it's below, I would suggest having a look at some other options. Even things that look similar but rank higher on the scale, to make sure that your stone stays in perfect condition for as long as possible. Rubies are a great option to look at, as well as sapphires, which come in most colours, by the way. They usually rank a 9 on the Mohs scale, so they can be worn every single day. But that's not to say that softer gemstones can't be chosen either. With these, I would suggest choosing a designer who really knows their stones, just so that they can design the ring in the best way to protect your chosen stone. I chose a coloured gemstone. My ring is an aquamarine with white and black diamonds around it, and I absolutely love it. It might take a little bit more TLC, admittedly, but for me it was definitely worth it. Number 3 is the cut. Now that you have an idea of the kind of stones that you'd prefer, you can start thinking about the cut and shape. Common shapes are round, brilliant cuts, princess cut, which is a square, an emerald cut, which is rectangular, an oval, pear-shaped, cushion-shaped, but you can get all sorts of different cuts of stone, even heart shapes. This is where you really need to think about how it's going to suit your finger. If you have a longer finger, then a longer stone like an emerald cut or a marquise shape or even an oval would look great on you. If you have a shorter finger, a round solitaire, a princess cut or a trilogy cut with 3 stones would suit you a little bit better. Of course, your personality is going to play a really big part in this too. A well-cut stone will let the light really shine through, making the ring look extra sparkly, but a poorly cut stone is going to lose some of that light, so just something to bear in mind. Number 4 is the metal. Now we start thinking about what kind of metal you'd prefer your ring to be in. Usually the main options would be platinum, white gold, yellow gold or rose gold. Platinum is a really good choice because it's a very hard metal and it will keep that white colour and give you that longevity, which is what we're looking for. But if you're thinking of gold, you then need to think of the carat. 18 karat gold is ideal. Anything higher than that might be a bit too soft for a ring that's worn every single day, but anything below that will be less than 50% gold. So it's best to try and push, if you can, for that 18 karat gold mark, where more than 50% of the band will be in gold. Silver rings are generally not recommended for engagement rings. It is a very soft metal, so it won't be ideal for an everyday ring which is going to be holding a gemstone, which of course is really precious to you. Number 5 is the setting. Have a look now at the rings that you're drawn towards, everything on your Pinterest board, and pay close attention to how the stones are set. Commonly, the main stone would be set in a claw setting. This is really secure and allows a lot of light to come through the stone, giving you that sparkly look. Another option is a bezel setting. This is where the metal goes all the way around the outside of the stone and it really protects it. This will have an impact on some of the light, but it does make for a really beautiful setting as well, so definitely one to consider. Most people prefer to have as little metal as possible around the stone, but with a ring that's being worn every single day, you need to make sure that the setting is really protecting the stone itself, particularly if you've chosen a coloured gemstone like me. Our ring designer enclosed my aquamarine stone in a claw setting, so it's fully protected. So make sure that you look for either a claw setting, bezel or something similar. Number 6 is visit a jeweller's. Now that you have an idea of the kind of rings that you like, you're ready to try some on. If you're looking for something specific, I would look on the jeweller's website or call ahead to make sure that they have the things that you're looking for in stock. Some jewellers might be open for you to drop in anytime, but others will ask for appointments in advance. So be mindful of this as well, because you won't want a wasted journey. Trying the rings on in person is a really exciting experience that you can share with your partner. You can go together. One of the best decisions that we made was to visit a few independent jewellers who stocked several different designers. And this way I got the chance to try on completely different styles, all within the range that I was looking at. You can have a look through the selection and give your jeweller an idea of the type of ring that you like. Feel completely comfortable to try them on your right hand if you don't want to have anything on your left hand until the big day. That is absolutely fine. Definitely take photos of the rings, but also take videos, as you can move your hand to see how it sits on your finger at different angles, as well as looking down on your ring from your perspective. Also ask if there's a mirror where you can see your hand the other way around too, just to give you another perspective to consider. My advice for you in this part is to push yourself outside your comfort zone. The ring that I ended up choosing was actually one that our jeweller chose for me, and one that I definitely don't think I would have chosen to try on my own. Number 7 is the wedding band. Whilst you're at the jeweller's and once you have an idea of a ring that you might like, ask them about how it will fit with a wedding band and if you can try some on. Even if your wedding is a long way off, you may think I'm being very premature, it's still a good idea to get a sense of this now. If your ring is a halo style or a slightly unusual shape, your wedding band might have to be made specifically for it. Some wedding bands might also need to have a section cut out of them as well. This might impact your decision on your engagement ring, so this is why we think of it now. Think about if you want any stones in your wedding band as well, as this will add to your engagement ring. You could choose a more classic solitaire engagement ring and then add more interest to it with a decorative wedding band. There are so many options. Try and keep your wedding band in the same type of metal as your engagement ring. Otherwise, different types of metal can rub up against each other and cause some damage to the ring over time. Number 8 is looking after your ring. Your engagement ring is supposed to be on your hand for the rest of your life, so don't feel afraid to ask the jeweller some serious questions and get a good sense of their guarantee. What happens if a stone falls out? What happens if your finger changes in size? Or if a stone starts to feel a little bit loose, will they tighten the setting for you? All of this is important to know because your engagement ring will be a big investment and you want to feel confident knowing what each jeweller can offer. This may be the difference between who you go with. Number 9 is how much should you spend? How long is a piece of string? This is such a personal question. There are so many factors that will influence the cost, such as the size of the stone, the cut, the colour, clarity, carat, weight, your preferred metal. I would say that this is a ring that you'll be wearing for the rest of your life and admiring for years to come. So preferably you'd want it to be a good quality, but ultimately it has to be at a price point that is comfortable for you. Please do not break the bank getting engaged. We've got a lot more still to come afterwards. Number 10 is time frame. How long will it take to make your engagement ring? This really depends. If you're thinking of getting engaged really soon, I would suggest that you choose something that the jeweler already has in stock, so that they can quickly get it sized and get it ready for you. However, if you're looking for a bespoke piece designed by a jeweler or designed by yourselves, you might need to wait weeks, sometimes even months for your ring. So bear that in mind when you're looking at the two options. So I hope these tips were helpful and that you find a ring that you absolutely love. I know I really enjoyed going through the process, and on the day of your engagement, you'll be so excited to look down and see a ring that you adore. To make it all a little simpler for you, I've made a checklist for you to work through, which you can download on the link in the description bar below, completely free. This will take you through the steps that we've gone through and a couple more that you need to consider to make sure that you've not missed a thing. That's it for this week, but please like the video if it was helpful. It would mean so much, and leave your comments down below if you're looking to get an engagement ring. I would love to know what stage you're at. Subscribe if you'd like to see more wedding and engagement planning tips, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy planning!